Okay, so here's our 3D printed centering plate for the NSX. We're gonna go ahead and drill the hole for it today just to get it finally moving again. As you guys know, this is the rubber gasket piece on the firewall of the NSX. And so on the new booster, the 4 mounting studs line up the same, but the internal hole is slightly different. So with hole saws, you've got a drill bit in the center, and so there's no way to just drill a hole without having material for the drill bit to bite in to keep it centered. So JT, our design slash 3D printing guy, made us a plate. Now as you can see, the hole is already set here, and if there is enough interest, we could always sell these to people. So as you can see, the holes line up perfectly, and then this is exactly dead center. So we're going to be able to put a hole saw bit into this as a jig. We'll mount this back onto the firewall, and then we'll drill through, and if all goes well, we will have the perfect opening for the eye booster.
So we found out the hard way that once the booster was actually in, which sits really, really nice, is that the studs are different. The studs, as you can see on the brake booster here, are fully impregnated into the brake booster, and I don't know if if you take the brake booster apart, if these studs will come out, but the studs on the inside for the e-brake booster is mighty short. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to figure that out, but it shouldn't be, hopefully it's not too bad. I really think that the brake booster comes apart, and if you look, I'm gonna try it just nice, but if you look, you can see that the stud is barely protruding out of the firewall. So yes, it is the same in terms of footprint, but like I said, the studs are a bit too short, so we're gonna have to pull it back out, and it's a pain to wiggle in, not gonna even lie. We're gonna have to try to wiggle it back out, and once we get it out, then we can see if the studs are removable, which they should be, and then from there we can check the sizes of it. So something that we didn't account for, and we just chalk it up to experience. So as a true American, I can't measure anything correctly, so we got to use these strange units of measurement here. But you can see that this stud is only this long here, and you can see that the difference is about 1/4 inch, I think. So we're gonna have to figure out how we can replace these studs, but by the look of it, just by giving it a look, it looks like we can just remove these 2 bolts, and this whole plate comes out. Once this plate comes out, it looks like the studs will come out. It looks like they're just pressed in almost like a wheel stud is what I think. But the problem is that where do you find studs like these? So we're gonna have to do some digging and figure it out.